Sorry, I have entrance music wherever I go, so... I'm also the DJ at a public radio station, KEXP. My name is John Richards. Thank you. I was here last night for 2 hours talking about music and death. It's a talk I do every year. It was a very serious talk, and I'd just like to say the 5 minutes I'm going to do right now is a vacation right now. This is a brilliant evening after talking 2 hours about death. It is so good to be here talking about my community. One of the songs that you just heard was from Run DMC. I do playlists. It's what I do for a living. I live in this city, and I love it. I love everything about it. Even the hour-and-a-half drive it took me to get 5 miles to get here this evening. And this is a dream come true for me to be able to bitch about Green Lake a little bit in front of all of you. That's my talk. I've lived very close to Green Lake all of my life. Just like Luke mentioned, I live just a few blocks from it right now, as a matter of fact. And one thing I see when I see Green Lake is I see it as a symbol of how we live in this city. And that includes all the signs and symbols telling you to go one way, yet 10% of everybody is going the wrong way. No matter what I do, I can't help these people from understanding you're going the wrong way. And I do what we Seattleites do best. I pass those people and I bitch about it 5 minutes later to my wife, never confronting these people and the wrong that they are doing as they cross Green Lake and go the wrong way. But if you start to pay attention to the people around Green Lake, you really start to learn some things. They really aren't bad people. They just are in the moment. I've actually not been a Seattleite. I actually, for a second, stopped being one and asked a few of these people, and they just didn't think it was for them. They just felt like they're in the moment, they're with their family, and they're just going the wrong way. If you pay attention, you'll see volunteers actually cleaning the lake. You'll actually see people are doing all right and helping each other out. You'll hear music and you'll see people running as they listen to songs like this. Frightened Rabbit is this band. It's called Swim Until You Can't See Land. Now, Frightened Rabbit might work as well, because let's face it, the rabbits are gone. I probably could have picked a song about geese as well, but that's a whole other story. Those poor bastards. Removed long ago from Green Lake. We swim Green Lake when we shouldn't. We have to shower and use hydrogen peroxide and clean out our ears and our eyes when we're training for a triathlon, but yet we still swim it. Toxic algae forms. We don't clean it. We wait for it to get better, and we still watch those fishermen out there mercifully fishing the waters of Green Lake and possibly eating those fish later, which really scares me, especially as a vegan. We see those signs go up, and yet we can't do anything about the ducks who don't know any better but to swim in it. And we continue to go around in circles, like this song from Soul Coffee, In Circles. We walk around and we see people we don't know, but we see people we recognize now. The guy who gives free Spanish lessons around Green Lake. I love that man, and I never want him to stop, right? The busker who tells the worst jokes on God's green earth is there. You know who I'm talking about. The Rat City roller girls who rule and are spinning every day around their training. The cat, have you seen the cat on the shoulder bike guy? That's impressive. The hand organ guy. We keep thinking he's going to have a monkey. He doesn't have a monkey, but he does have the hand organ. And every day we're both annoyed and excited that he's there. He's like an old friend. There's people with packs training to climb Rainier, and the homeless walking the park with all their belongings, yet are still doing laps around the parks and not just stopping, but actually seeing the rest of us as we pass. When we ride our bikes, like this song, the bike song from Mark Ronson, I run the lake almost every day. It's 2.8 on the inside. It's 3.2 on the outside. I can run it in 21 minutes on a good day. I can walk it. Well, it all depends on my 2-year-old. That's how long it usually takes. He decides. I'm told if you do the 3.2 miles on the outside, though, you're actually breathing in more pollution and doing more harm to your body than good. Yet there we are running the lake on the outside track. Just like a lot of us, I didn't notice bikes on the outside until my son started riding a bike, and then I got serious about how we treat each other on that trail, because it's important that we go the right direction. And we have to actually speak to each other and make sure that we're going the right direction, that we're respecting not just ourselves but each other. And to me, the parks are a place to do that. I was asked what my favorite place was in Seattle outside of my work at KEXP, in my home with my children and my wife. And I've been going to Green Lake for 20 years. I would sit and write postcards at that lake to my friends back in Spokane, making fun of them because they were still in Spokane. But really, really scared that I was in the city I didn't quite understand yet. I would run and think about my future in the city. I watched Sean Kemp dunk a basketball at the courts of Green Lake in one of my better moments of my life. I watched our city grow up there. I've moved many times in Seattle like a lot of you, but I've run it, and I've continued to use it as my place to get away in Seattle. I've dealt with my depression around that lake. I've dealt with my relationships around that lake. I've watched as my son has grown up around that lake. I've watched paddle boarders. I've watched runners, swimmers, the wading pool, ducks, geese. I've watched the disabled go around that lake. I've seen the senior citizens cross around that lake. These gathering spaces are so important to us, and places like Green Lake show our humanity, and they show what this city is so great about. There's candles for those who died at Hiroshima every year around that lake. There are pianos in the park. When the sprinklers went off and nearly destroyed that first piano in the park, our citizens gathered and covered that piano. A small theater, countless runs for cancer, and a listener of mine who was attacked when they were having terrible attacks on women around that lake was attacked one morning while listening to my show, and someone on a bike stopped and saved her from what could have been death. Those are our people. Those are our people looking out for one another. Green Lake represents for me all the good there is, and it tells me 10% just aren't quite sure what to do. They aren't sure to go the right way. And every time I go to Green Lake, I know I'm going to run into somebody that I know and love. And I swear to God, if they're going the wrong way, I'm going to kill them. I love that lake. I love this city. And as long as we have these parks in our cities, it gives us reason to pause. It gives us reason to reflect, and we can put up with all the development that's going on around us. I thank you for listening to me tonight, and I hope to see you around Green Lake on the inside track of the park.